What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod, and welcome to the first video of my new series, OTKs from the past. Now I know there are a lot of new players out there, and when they take a look at the limited and forbidden list, oftentimes they come across cards and they think to themselves, why is this card on the ban list? Why is this card limited? I don't understand. What is the purpose of this card being on the list? What is so special about this card? And in most cases, the reason why said card is either on the limited list or on the forbidden list is because it was part of an OTK/FTK. Now for this first episode, I decided to use the Magical Scientist OTK. This was the first OTK/FTK that I remember coming across when I first started dueling. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you guys how this OTK/FTK combo works, and you'll see why Magical Scientist is actually still on the ban list today. Okay, so ideally for this scenario, you would be going first. And to start the combo off, you would special summon out your Gilasaurus. Since your opponent does not have no monsters in their graveyards yet, they can't actually special summon out a card in response. And even if they did, it would not really matter. Now the next thing you would do is go ahead and play Last Will. Last Will essentially states that when a monster on your side of the field leaves the field and goes to the graveyard, you can special summon another monster from your deck with 1500 attack or less. At this point, you would go ahead and sacrifice your Gilasaurus for your Catapult Turtle. That would then trigger Last Will's effect, and you would special summon out your Magical Scientist from your deck. You now have everything you need on the field to complete the OTK. Magical Scientist allows you to pay 1,000 life points to special summon one fusion monster level 6 or lower from your fusion deck to the field. Catapult Turtle allows you to tribute a monster on your side of the field and do damage to your opponent equal to half of that monster's attack. So what you would do is you'd pay the 1,000 life points to special summon out, let's say Dark Flare Knight first, has 2,200 attack, so you then use Catapult Turtle's effect to launch him, as the case may be, or tribute him, and do 1,100 points of damage to your opponent. You would then use Magical Scientist effect again, bring out another Dark Flare Knight, launch him yet again. Pay another 1,000 life points to bring out another Dark Flare Knight, launch him yet again. You've now done 3,300 points of damage to your opponent. You would then use Magical Scientist effect again for a fourth time, bring out maybe a monster like Roaring Ocean Snake. You would then go ahead and launch him with Catapult Turtle, and you would do this, of course, 3 times. And for your final time, your 7th time, you would bring out maybe a card like Punishing Eagle and go ahead and launch him with Catapult Turtle's effect. At this point, you are now at 1,000 life points, and your opponent has lost 7,500 life points. You can then use Catapult Turtle's effect to go ahead and launch Magical Scientist and itself to go ahead and finish off your opponent and do the remaining amount of damage needed, with you still at 1,000 life points. And that is basically how the OTK/FTK for this deck works. You just keep summoning monsters out with your Magical Scientist and then launching them with Catapult Turtle. Now in today's meta, we have cards like Effect Veiler and Maxi to help you get to your Effect Veiler, and even Gores that can reflect that burn damage back to your opponent to hopefully kill them. But back in the day when this OTK/FTK was around, you had no answers to this. There was no hand traps that you could possibly draw into or have in your first opening hand to stop something like this. There's even now better fusion monsters that have been released that you can use with Magical Scientist to do more damage, so you probably wouldn't even have to use his effect the full 7 times. In the comment section below, make sure you let me know what you think of this OTK/FTK. Do you think it would still be as strong in today's meta as it was way back in the day? Do you think Magical Scientist still needs to be on the forbidden list to keep this OTK from returning? Or do you think there's enough cards in today's meta to combat such an OTK? And I guess that's going to do it for this episode. This is GalacticGod, out.